the process that you guys do in recording albums and recording songs. There's this beautiful story about Rev recording all his drum takes kind of in one take while you guys were creating your album. What is the truth behind that? What was the process like going into those albums and creating that as a band?
Yeah, so the very first record, Sound of the Seventh Trumpet, we were super green. We didn't know how to record. We didn't know anything about any of it. We just knew our favorite bands recorded somehow. And so we ended up getting hooked up with Donald Cameron, who had done a bunch of Blink records and Bad Religion records and No Effects records at a place called West Beach Recording Studios. And we were kind of taking his lead. Now, at the time, like, we didn't know that most drummers recorded to a click track. We weren't used to that. We didn't know what it was. And at this time, Donald never brought it up. So the Rev, to his credit, he was like, well, I know all these songs. I'm just going to play them one time. And so we start recording. Like, that's not normal, right? Like, you want to get in there and get it perfect and this and that. But he was such a great drummer. It didn't really matter at that time. And he played like 6 songs and we're like, I mean, we have no comments. So we just kept going. Then by the end of it, he's like, I'm going to do this whole record in one take. I'm going to make sure I don't have to go back and redo anything. Now, there's a couple things in the record, like that he probably should have redone, but to him, it was all about not redoing anything. But if you listen to that record, it just shows the ability of this 18-year-old kid that could just slay. But, if you were to take it nowadays and go like, okay, it's not on a click track. The tempo's all out of time. There's all sorts of things you guys are doing that was very green, but it's also kind of cool. It's kind of punk rock. It's kind of rad. It's like, who cares, right? It's like, it sounds cool.
The uniqueness to you guys. Yeah. Does that process in creating albums, has it differed from when you guys first started to today in terms of writing, the music selection?
Everything does, because we're trying to constantly push ourselves, and there's always this like sort of tug and pull as people like you in the beginning because you're different, and they really get attached to that and they think they like different. But then when you give them the next different thing, they want more of that old thing at first. And then you got to kind of lead them and change them. It's kind of like when a new iPhone comes out and there's a new feature that no one likes. And then like you get used to it and you can't believe you used to do it the other way. And so music for us now is like constantly ignoring and putting past these expectations and what we did in the past and constantly saying, well, we want to go explore over there. And when we feel it's good, we put it out. And then we deal with the ramifications of that after it's out. But for us, it's definitely different knowing that when you're putting stuff out now or how you do things is all going to be put under a microscope because there's so many people that want to compare it or have you live in the past. So it's a little different, but at the same time, there's the one thing that's not different is pleasing yourself. You got to make sure that it's what comes out of your heart and it's something that you still fully stand behind.